When the history of punk and new wave is written, one record label consistently stands out for its vision and daring. Founded in 1966 by Seymour Stein and Richard Gottehrer, Sire Records became the unlikely home for bands that would redefine popular music. While the mainstream was saturated with disco and polished rock in the 1970s, Sire bet on the raw, unconventional energy of punk and the experimental spirit of new wave. By signing groundbreaking acts like the Ramones and Talking Heads, the label not only changed its own fortunes, but also shifted the trajectory of modern music. Seymour Stein was a legendary talent scout with a knack for recognizing artistry before the rest of the industry caught on. Together with Gottehrer, he created Sire as a home for acts that were too left field for major labels. Early in its history, Sire focused on importing European records into the US, but by the mid-1970s, it became a champion for the emerging punk scene bubbling up from New York clubs like CBGB. When Stein signed the Ramones, he embraced a band that distilled rock down to its most primal essence. Songs like Blitzkrieg Bop and Sheena is a Punk Rocker were loud, fast, and unapologetically simple, capturing the spirit of rebellion and fun that punk embodied. If the Ramones brought raw energy, Talking Heads brought intellect and innovation. Signed to Sire in 1977, the band fused punk ethos with art rock sensibilities, crafting a sound that was cerebral yet danceable. Albums like Fear of Music and Remain in Light pushed boundaries, influencing not just rock but also electronic and world music. With both bands, Sire positioned itself as a label unafraid to experiment, and audiences responded. Sire Records didn't stop there. It became a hub for other pioneering acts of the era, including The Pretenders, The Cure for U.S. releases, and Echo and the Bunnymen. By bridging the gap between underground credibility and mainstream exposure, Sire gave punk and new wave artists a platform to reach audiences far beyond small clubs and college radio. The label also became instrumental in the 1980s pop explosion when it signed Madonna, who would go on to become one of the most iconic artists in music history. With her, Sire proved it could balance its reputation for innovation with blockbuster commercial success. The legacy of Sire Records lies not just in the artists it discovered, but in its ability to reshape the music industry's perception of what was viable. By taking risks on unconventional acts, it demonstrated that artistry and commerce could coexist. Stein's belief in his artists often defied industry logic. Yet time and again, Sire's roster proved him right. Today, Sire Records is remembered as one of the most influential labels of the late 20th century. Its championing of punk and new wave helped bring underground movements into the mainstream, forever changing the sound of popular music. The Ramones and Talking Heads may have started as outsiders, but thanks to Sire, they became legends. For anyone who loves rock history, Sire stands as proof that bold vision and fearless risk-taking can alter the course of culture.